Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Monday the 9th of March.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Rwanda's diplomats are in the country, and we talk to them about representing Rwanda across the world.
A look at the weekend's sports highlights.
And Fidelis is revealing it all in this week's Motivation Monday.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadio. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you all the latest news, sports, and lifestyle headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And of course, the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio. Arnold couldn't be with us today, but Fidelis, we're going to save the best for last, I suppose.
The best
The
for
I
got you, don't worry.
What's going on in the world of business?
Well, I have lots of business news from new companies that are going to help us get more water into Rwanda, clean water to be specific, to rural areas. And of course, like as usual, I'm going to take over Motivation Monday. You're going to see my struggles.
I like the pearls too. She's killing it.
Yeah, you know, you're feeling motivated this Monday, and I like it. I like it. All right, well, all that and more still to come. But first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
Rwanda's 32 honorary consuls are in the country for an annual Ministry of Foreign Affairs retreat, and some of them are here for the very first time in an official capacity. During their trip here, they got to visit Musanze and Nyundo in the northern province. Take a look. As they gathered in Kigali last week for the ambassadors and consuls retreat organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Rwandan diplomats got to gauge the progress the country has been making, but also visit some of the sites throughout the country. The Tumba College of Technology, the Mutobo Demobilization and Reintegration Center, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda border, the Funda Tea Factory, they got to visit them all.
When I was here, I found what was lacking mostly was like technical expertise, and I'm trying my best to get Rwandans to come to Sri Lanka. There is one of the foremost technical training institutes in Sri Lanka, of which I was the first director principal, Sri Lankan director principal. I'm trying to get them there for training. It's a wonderful course, and we already have 30 students in an university. They are learning aircraft technology and aircraft maintenance, and some in the command and defense staff also. But my aim is to somehow get people into that technical training institute.
For diplomats representing Rwanda in the world and who don't get to come home often, it was the perfect way to find out what Rwandans have been achieving and also share mutual experiences.
Progress, stability, development. This is really a very big surprise. In a way, I knew it was happening because I was hearing very positive reports. But to really see it in reality, it's very, very heartening. I'm very happy to be part of a community that has shown so much progress and commitment.
It's a very beautiful country physically. I've always found myself amazed at the next vista, the volcanoes, the green terracing of your agriculture. It's quite amazing, and I have on this trip had my vision of Rwanda expanded. Another thing that has always impressed me about Rwanda is that the people have such a positive determination to build a much better nation. And coming from the position that you were in 1994, it is remarkable that Rwanda has got to the stage that it is now.
The senior member of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Charles Murigande, welcomed his colleagues to Rwanda and spoke about their achievements abroad and also the country's leadership.
Being probably the most senior member of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I want to reiterate our gratitude to you all for the work you do for our country. This is an expression of your commitment to our country.
After the work was done, it was time for the diplomats to kick back and enjoy themselves. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio is Dr. Jeanne d'Arc Moujar-Malia, Ambassador of Rwanda to Russia, and Claire Delors, Rwanda's consul to New Zealand. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit about the retreat that you were just coming from?
Ambassador.
Okay. First of all, we had two retreats. There was
The leadership
the
retreat.
leadership retreat, which is a gathering of more than 300 people, leaders of this country, including ambassadors. And the second retreat was the diplomatic retreat, if I may call it, is the retreat organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation. And the gathering was composed of envoys of Rwanda abroad, ambassadors of Rwanda abroad, and consuls of Rwanda to different countries.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
go
fine.
ahead.
All right, now, tell us a little bit about, is this the first time this retreat has been happening? Has it been happening before? Tell us a bit about what happened at the retreat. We know what happens at the leadership retreat. Now let's talk about what happens at the ambassador's retreat.
Okay, the first retreat, the leadership retreat, is the 12th retreat. And the one for ambassadors is not the first, but ambassadors with our consuls abroad is the first one.
Right.
And it was a good one.
So tell me, what exactly are the responsibilities of a consul abroad?
Honorary consuls extend the reach of the country, and we're unpaid, we're volunteers, we're usually people who are pretty passionate about the country we represent, and we come from a varying range of backgrounds. I'm a journalist by background, a writer. I do a range of other things, but that's sort of more my occupational interest. But I do a lot of work for Rwanda and New Zealand. It is with the local community, and also by way of, for example, last year, organising Kwibuka 20 commemorations, that sort of thing, liaison with our government on some matters, and also representing Rwanda at diplomatic events in New Zealand, because the High Commissioner is in Tokyo. He covers a number of countries, and he can't possibly come to New Zealand frequently. He comes about once a year, and we're always pleased to see him. But in the meantime, I am Rwanda's person in New Zealand.
Now, before you guys showed up, we're having this very animated conversation with our executive producers about how an honorary consul is picked. Is she picked? Does she volunteer? How does it work?
My appointment came about due to a meeting with the President. I had got to know him through Hope and Homes for Children, an excellent NGO working in this country. And I had met the President when I was with a delegation of Hope and Homes for Children. And we got talking about a whole range of things. We met up again in London. We had more discussions. And I said, I'm leaving London soon. And he said, well, it would be a shame if you have no more contact with Rwanda, so would you represent Rwanda in New Zealand? And I was really, really pleased that he asked me, and honoured.
So, and for an ambassador?
Oh, for an ambassador, actually an ambassador is appointed by the head of state. And in my case, I think I'm not a diplomatic by career, but looking at 8 years I served as a member of the cabinet of the Republic of Rwanda, I think I have all it takes to serve Rwanda as ambassador. Because I know from where the country came, where we are now, and where we want to take our country. So those three aspects can help me to represent Rwanda we have a high head.
Now, Rwandans may know about Russia, it's in the news a lot, but about New Zealand, they may know about Australia a little bit, but about New Zealand, tell us about what's specific, what's special about the country, and what similarities they have with Rwanda.
Well, the similarities are we have a beautiful physical environment. That's one thing. Rwanda is very beautiful. It's very hilly, very green. It's got pretty smart people. And New Zealanders like to think they're pretty smart, and we also, have this lovely environment. And there are many dissimilarities, but I also think that in technical terms, while New Zealand is 10 times larger by land size than Rwanda, it has less than half the population. So when it comes to dealing with the rest of the world, sometimes New Zealand needs other countries that seem to be smaller, even if there are so many people in this country. And Rwanda was a great supporter of New Zealand, for example, for its seat on the Security Council.
Right.
And you might remember that during the genocide, New Zealand spoke out for Rwandans and tried to get the UN to intervene, and it's been a very positive, long-standing relationship based on that.
Now, coincidentally, this comes right after Women's Day. Women's Day was yesterday. And it's not that we went out and chose women to be on the show today. It was just a coincidence. But what would you have to say to any young girls who are looking up to both of you right now and they're saying, wow, they're great representatives? Would you have any advice for them? Maybe we can start with the ambassador.
Okay, my advice to young girls, especially young Rwandan girls, is to be a good ambassador, you have first to think before speaking. Think before speaking. And you have to be able to articulate your opinion without hurting anybody. Of course, diplomatically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So even from the early age, our girls have to think before speaking, because there are people who speak and they think after.
Right.
So to be a good diplomat, especially a diplomat of Rwanda, representing His Excellency Paul Kagame, you have to think before speaking.
Okay, great advice.
Yeah.
And Consul?
It would be very difficult for me to give advice to Rwandan women, because the Rwandan women I know are very strong in every sense. They're very strong on the world stage. For example, your ambassador here, the foreign minister.
And any young girl.
Yeah, and they're very physically strong. They can do all sorts of amazing feats, carrying heavy loads. But I think Rwandan women are very well represented in public life. But I would say to young girls that they should really aim high,
Right.
grab their educational chances, and never take no for an answer when it's unfair, and especially if it's gender-based.
Now, I'm very jealous because you got to go to Nyundo. You got to go to Musanze over the weekend. What was that like, and what were you doing over there?
It was the first chance that the honorary consuls have been brought together, and it's a brilliant idea, and I'm glad that the government thinks that it's worth repeating, because in my case, I'm a long way from Rwanda, so getting here often is problematic. But it's also a major benefit for me to meet other consuls and talk to them about the issues that they're facing. So we had a lot of discussion about that. We now have a very good network between us, and I've made some new friends as well. But more than that, we got on these 2 or 3 days, we got to see a range of things, from a fantastic producing tea company at Pufunda, which has doubled its output and is environmentally a leader in its field. We went to a demobilisation centre. We saw the work that's being done with the men who are coming back across the border. We went to the border with Congo, and that was pretty fascinating for me. I had never been there before. And we also went to a technology college and saw the work being done by young people, including women in technology. So there were a range of different things we did, and they were all very impressive.
That's fantastic. Well,
great.
we loved having you guys on the show
It's
today.
been a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's get to today's business news, or as I call it, the money. Fidelis Karangwa has the detail.
Business stories making headlines today. The use of mobile phones to make payments and save money has been growing at a slow pace, and this has been attributed to transactions being largely dominated by money transfer services despite telecom operators introducing other services. Mobile phone users are increasingly opening mobile accounts on various networks, mainly for sending and receiving money. This has increased convenience and cash security, as well as post-payment modernization. Rwanda and Japan have signed a grant agreement worth over 5 billion Rwandan francs to supply water in rural areas of the country. The project, which will be implemented by the Water and Sanitation Corporation with support of Japan International Cooperation Agency, targets 3 sectors in the 3 districts in the Eastern Province. These include Rukira sector in Goma district, Murama sector in Kayonza district, and Remera sector in Gatsibo district. The fund will be used to construct piped water supply systems and capacity building for operation staff and technicians, which upon completion will supply more than 33,000 people with safe drinking water. And the East African Community member states are seeking to harmonize carrier and postal services operations in order to ease the movement of parcels and cargo around the region. The strategy will include an assessment of the status of the postal sector in partner states, policies, laws and regulations of the sector, establishment of effective, efficient and sustainable postal markets, and the development of a modern postal infrastructure. It is expected that these new services will reduce the cost of moving goods, thus boosting doing business in the region.
So what do you have for us for the rest of the week, Fidelis?
Well, for the rest of the week, I attended the Rwanda Property Forum and I got to learn a lot about real estate in Rwanda. So I'll be sharing my knowledge with you this week. And of course, garbage collection. We all hear these guys knocking on our door, especially during the weekends, and they're charging us to pay them for, garbage collections. But not too many people know how it works, why we're being charged for this. So I went to look into it and have all the details for you in this week's
Keeping us
business
so
section.
She got the goodies.
Yep.
Love it, love it. All right.
Okay, well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next in just a minute with Regis Isheja.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Sports news now with me, Regis Isheja. The newly appointed Minister of Sports and Culture, the Honorable Julien Wachu, has challenged Amavubi to win the 2016 African Nations Championship that will be held in Rwanda from January 16 to February 7, 2016. Minister Wachu, who replaced Joseph Habineza, also called upon all institutions that operate under her ministry, as well as other stakeholders, to work together in order to achieve greater success. She confirmed that construction works on modern stadiums that will host the African Nations Championship have reached advanced stage. The competition will be held at Amahoro Stadium, Kigali Regional Stadium, Huye Stadium, and Umuganda Stadium in Rubavu District. CHAN is a competition reserved for players featuring in their respective domestic leagues. The Democratic Republic of Congo won the inaugural tournament in Ivory Coast in 2009, and Libya are the defending champions. Samuel Eto'o opened his goal-scoring account for Sampdoria in a 2-0 home victory over Cagliari that boosted the club into a share of 5th place in the Serie A. The striker swapped Everton for Sampdoria in January, but had not made much of a direct impact on the Champions League chasers until Saturday's second half of action at the Marassi. Lorenzo De Silvestri's header put relegation-threatened Cagliari on the back foot before the break, and Eto'o put his new employers out of sight with a classy finish on the 72nd minute. After scoring for the first time since October, the former Chelsea striker celebrated by borrowing a photographer's camera on the touchline. The 33-year-old Cameroonian is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the African Cup of Nations and a 4-time African Player of the Year. It's been a while, but FC Barcelona are back atop La Liga after thrashing Rayo Vallecano 6-1 at Camp Nou, while Real Madrid were beaten 1-0 by Athletic Bilbao at San Mamés over the weekend. Rayo never really posed a threat to the Catalans as Lionel Messi scored his 32nd hat-trick in all competitions for Barça, and Luis Suarez scored a brace to give Luis Enrique's side a comfortable 6-1 win and pole position in La Liga's race. At San Mamés, Gareth Bale hit the post from 50 yards out, but it was the closest Carlo Ancelotti's team came, as an Aritz Turi's header in the first half was enough to give Athletic Bilbao a famous victory that could seriously derail Real Madrid's title charge. Forwards Inaki Williams and Aduriz stretched a Madrid defender underprotected by a midfield still missing Luka Modric, who will not be back until midweek in the Champions League. Stay tuned, more to come right after this.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The Rwandan chapter of Ntare School Old Boys Association demonstrated their loyalty this past weekend by raising funds to the construction of the Ntare School in Rwanda. The event was attended by distinguished alumni such as His Excellency President Paul Kagame and Uganda's Yoweri Museveni. The special reunion dinner doubled as a fundraiser, raising about 875 million Rwandan francs by the end of the evening. The school is said to be constructed in Bugesera district at an estimated 6 billion Rwandan francs and will be a not-for-profit institution that will partner with the government for quality assurance.
National celebrations took place in the Ngoma district yesterday in honor of International Women's Day. The festivities were held under the theme, Let's Strengthen Performance Contracts in Development. Similar events were held across the country at the sector level to evaluate performance contracts signed by women at the family and sector level last year. In the contracts, women committed to fighting prostitutions, ending wrangles in families, and helping women street vendors get permanent stalls in markets. This year's theme resonates with the international theme, Make It Happen. Today, a Rwandan delegation will present a report on the status of women in the country at the Commission on the Status of Women at the United Nations headquarters in New York.
East African heads of state have commended achievements made under the Northern Corridor Integration Project's initiative. The comments were made at the 9th NCIP summit that took place in Kigali over the weekend. The heads of state also advocated for faster integration on the region to bring about prosperity. Rwanda and Uganda ratified a peace and security pact that will soon be extended to Kenya to ensure the three countries work together to prevent and resolve conflicts. Recent achievements of the Northern Corridor integration projects include the improved free movement of people and labor, use of identity cards as travel documents, the One Network area, the One Visa for tourists coming to Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda, and the waiver of work permits for EAC citizens in the Northern Corridor.
And in international news, Nigerian militant group Boko Haram has pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. It would be the latest in a series of groups to swear allegiance to IS. In the past, Boko Haram is thought to have had links with Al-Qaeda. In 2009, the group began a military campaign to impose Islamic rule in northern Nigeria. The conflict has since spread to neighboring states. IS took control of large swaths of territory in eastern Syria and across northern and western Iraq last year. The group aims to establish a state ruled by a single political and religious leader according to the Sharia Islamic law. Okay, lots more still to come. Lifestyle is up next. Plus, we take a look at what's hot right now in our daily debate section. Hot Topics. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Lifestyle now. Fidelis, what do you have for us?
Well, it's Monday, so that means motivation. Mondays, is up. So like I made up my mind finally to hit the gym, get fit, and you're going to see my struggles. Quite hilarious, actually. I'm sure all of you are going to laugh, but hopefully during the laughing you'll also be inspired and
you'll have
just
the last
look
laugh.
up for it.
You'll have the last one.
All right.
Well, I, like many other people, have always wanted to be fit and have better control of my body. So when I was presented the opportunity to join the Waka You 2.0 challenge, I took it by storm, but surely I thought it couldn't be that hard. Well, today I share with you my experience during my second workout session and hope someone out there will be inspired and know that it takes a lot of hard work to be runway ready. Don't think it's easy for those models. Well, take a look. So I'm here once again with Dennis, as usual. What do you have for us this week?
Well, for today, it's about strength training. So the viewer at home, you will today learn about how both men and women, they can build strength by doing certain exercises. And today we have three overall circuits that we're going to go through. And a circuit means that there are 2, 3, or 4 exercises in a row that we're doing before you have a break. So that's one circuit. And today we have a circuit A, B, and C. But I will show you as we go on, like what the fun exercise is going to be like.
Fun.
I promise.
My death, but fun. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
I was all pumped up and excited to get into my first routine of the day. And starting with a warm-up walk on the treadmill, all I had on my mind was focus and you can get through it. Getting into my first circuit, which consisted of a couple of squats and weightlifting, felt new and a bit painful, and I could feel my body scream, "Stop whatever you're doing." But nothing prepared me for what was to follow. With my legs shaking and feeling out of breath, I still had 2 more circuits to get through, and a part of me felt like I just couldn't do it. But after a couple of these, and these, I magically made it through 45 minutes of hardcore training and swore to never touch or eat unhealthy food again. So after 3 circuits, I'm getting to a point where I was certain I'm about to pass out. I'm sure glad I survived through it. Karen Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
That was fun.
Fun?
Fun for
really?
me.
Yeah, for you. Not for me. It was not. Well, it was fun. I mean, it's new, and I always love doing new things, and the experience is fun. But
it's real.
I would not recommend that for any. Like even my worst enemy, I just be like, no.
No.
It was that serious.
But it will pay off, of course.
Definitely.
Okay, so tell me, it looks like a lot of challenges, and actually you're doing the 90-day challenge,
Yes.
right? So this means that it's not just exercising, but it's also a big change in your diet and basically in your lifestyle as a whole. So tell me, what's the hardest part? What has been the biggest change in your life since you started the 90-day challenge?
I say no to chocolate. That's it.
Hurts my
I'm not
heart.
even joking with you. I have the worst friends, officially. I'm going to say it on TV. Because they'll come in front of me and show me, oh, here's chocolate, we're having a bite. And I'm like, no. Let me go have a piece of pineapple instead. Because when I'll remember this moment and appreciate it when I'm in the gym, and it doesn't hurt as much as it used to a couple of days ago.
Because they're jealess. They know what's happening.
Exactly, But seriously, it is really good, and I already feel the change. Only 2 weeks into it, I already feel so much better. I have so much more energy already. After, of course, 1 week of limping and being in so much pain and being super sore, I already feel better. I have so much more energy. I feel healthier. It's just like mohal.
And you're a little bit more,
exactly,
more gangsta. I hear you with your yos over there.
Exactly. So yeah, I just feel really good. I wake up every morning, and even when I feel like I can't do it today, I don't want to go to the gym, I just tell myself,
You have to do it.
Exactly. Look at yourself in the mirror 90 days from now and think, damn. So I just go.
So you talked about limping a bit, and we remember here around the studio we saw you walking very, very slowly, and you look like you're really in pain. So I'm sure your family is noticing that as well.
Yes.
Are they helping you out with the journey? Are they cooking special dinners for you, or trying to avoid the things that you can't eat?
Yeah. Well, they're trying. They're trying. My mom has the whole idea. Generally, she keeps on saying, "You're fine the way you are." Mukobwa munyarwanda, you're supposed to be, you know,
supposed to look like
curvy
that.
and what is this you're doing? But generally explained it to her, and she finally got it. And she supports me. Everyone supports me. And like I said, apart from those friends who every once in a while wave that chocolate, but generally everyone supports me, and I'm really thankful.
So are you trying to, you know, help your friends and your family get into the same lifestyle?
Definitely. I mean, I keep on talking about it. It's annoying everyone. They keep on telling me, just keep your challenge to yourself. I think we've heard.
Don't want to know about it.
Exactly. But I keep on telling everyone and recommending it to everybody because I know it's doing so much for me, and I'm very grateful, and I feel like I want to share that my experience with everyone. That's why even while recording the taping of this video, I kept on thinking maybe I should keep some other things to myself, but that's not real. People don't wake up in the morning looking
like
size
a model.
0. Exactly, it doesn't work like that. You have to go through this. You have to go through this super painful process to get there. And I want to share that with everyone because I know personally, growing up, there was a time when I was a lot bigger, and I kept on thinking maybe I'll never be slim. Maybe I'll never. It's not something for me. But then I'd look at people just think, you know, they woke up one day and it was like they were like that. But going through this, I want someone who's felt like me before, who thinks like me the way I used to in the past, know that it's actually something you can work on slowly. It hurts, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, it's really worth it.
Nothing worth it is ever easy, like they say.
Exactly.
All right, so what do you think you will, just before we have to wrap up, what do you think you're going to keep? What habits are you creating now? Do you think you're going to keep after the 90 days are over?
Actually, everything. I'm hoping to maintain everything because at the end of the day, for me, it's not just about losing the weight and then leaving it there. Exactly. I want to go strong and stay strong. So keep on eating healthy. Maybe every once in a while, you know, give myself some comfort food once a week or something because I'll allow myself that because I'm not superhuman. But, you know, try to stay on a healthy lifestyle as opposed to what I was doing before.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Fidelis. I feel a little bit motivated and inspired.
I'll take you with me sometime.
I'm gonna have to come with you one day and see how it goes.
Please do. This one I'm crying, you hold my hand.
Exactly. I'll be your support. I'll be your rock.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Fidelis. And more is to come. Hot Topics is up next. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, we have all of the things that are on everyone's lips, and I want you guys to join in if you can on Twitter or on Facebook. All right, so let's get into the first hot topic. We spoke about it actually in the news. There was a big fundraiser for the, and tell me if I'm saying this name right or wrong, the Nhari, I think. Okay, Nhari School Old Boys Club. All right, so basically the Old Boys Club, or the alumni rather, had a big fundraiser to raise money to open a school here in Rwanda. So the Rwanda chapter had a big fundraiser in order to have one here. And it was a huge success. It was a big dinner that had a lot of alumni and different people, friends of the school and such. And they ended up raising 875 million Rwandan francs.
Yo,
okay,
that's a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money. So basically, they ended up raising this money, but they need a bit more. It's going to take 6 billion Rwandan francs to actually build a school, and they want to build it in Bugesera. It's going to be a non-profit school, and you know, I mean, I think it's definitely a really good initiative. Paul Kagame went there, our president, His Excellency, President Paul Kagame went there, and also the president of Uganda went there as well, Museveni.
Both of them are alumni, yes.
Both of them are alumni. And one of the most exciting parts, or the highlight of the night rather, was when a businessman bought, there was an auction. Right. A businessman bought a painting of the two presidents for 32 million Rwandan francs.
Right. Shocking.
So it was a painting of the two presidents. It was autographed by both of them. And yeah, he decided to pick it up for 32 million Rwandan francs. So that was the part that excited everyone.
That businessman does not have the problems that I have.
I'm telling you, I was thinking to myself, I need to take up painting sometime soon. And
work really, really hard so you can buy paintings.
But I wonder if it's the significance of the picture that meant that much money to him,
or the autographs, or
Right.
perhaps, you know, we never know what his
Maybe
story
just
Only
go
the
towards
piece of
the
history, I
cause.
guess?
Maybe it's just thinking about the cause, and this is a really good cause. I mean,
Maybe he went to the school.
Exactly. Naya School is a really good school. I've had so many good things about it. I have relatives who went to it back in the day, and they all are like dedicated, and they make sure all their kids go to it, and that's how they are. And again, we don't have as many boys' schools here in Rwanda. Most of them are petits séminaires in a couple of places, but they're not that many. So it would be really good if we could have a school like that here in Rwanda to help our boys, get the right education and.
For sure. I mean, I think
Right.
it's a great initiative.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
obviously, they're on the right track. They got 875 million running
In
fans
one night.
in one night.
They need
So
like 8 more nights to get to 6 billion, you said? They need,
hopefully that painting
Right.
will be donated to the school. That would be a really
Yeah.
cool
That would be
story,
really
right?
cool, absolutely.
Okay, so the other hot topic, now we spoke about this, or you all, I wasn't here that
Yeah.
day, but you spoke about this on the show before. It was the dress that broke
Oh
the
my
internet,
God,
right?
not
So
again.
everyone
Right, just
was
talked
talking
about
about it. There was some people who saw blue and black, some people who saw white and gold, and there were so many tweets. It took over the internet. They said it broke the internet. So there were so many tweets. It was all over Facebook. People were sending the picture to everyone they knew, and it was just something. Some people saw a certain color, some people saw a different color, and it was just blowing everyone's mind. So now the Salvation Army for Africa actually decided to use this dress and put it in their campaign for domestic abuse. So basically what it's saying, as you can see there, why is it so hard to see black and blue? So, as the debate was who is seeing white and gold, who's seeing black and blue, and it took over the internet, they're saying, why isn't real problems like domestic abuse or gender-based violence given as much attention as this dress was. So, I think it was a clever usage of a big internet sensation to raise awareness about a certain cause. I mean, it's quite striking as well, man. I mean, when you see that, it's definitely something to think about. But what do you guys think about it?
There's a growing number of people being abused in their homes every day, not just in the world, even here in Rwanda, and most of them just are quiet about it. Or even parents will know my daughter in her home, her husband is hitting her every once in a while, but they'll think, she'll deal with it, it's not my business. And I feel like this is a good thing, it's a good cause, and people should probably learn from it, and just, it's good to speak out. Like, I feel like it's one thing being hit every day, it's another thing that you have to pretend it's not happening and you keep it to yourself. I feel like that kills you more than the fact that you're being beaten every day. So being given a platform to speak and say your problems is amazing, and I feel like people should just...
I think it's great. It's really good that they're using it for something positive, because at first I thought it was just ridiculous. I mean, but at least now they're using their brain cells to do something with it. I think that's a great thing, and whatever cause they can embrace and use it, on that platform, on that kind of platform.
For sure, and I think
Wow.
it's not only speaking to women or men, I suppose, who are enduring the
Right,
domestic violence.
right.
It's speaking to everyone. Don't just turn a blind eye. So I think that's a good use of
really
an
is.
internet sensation. Okay, so the last hot topic that we have on the plate today is actually about Primus Guma Guma. Okay, so people who are following know that the top 10 was launched or was I guess announced over the weekend, and the top 10 includes Active, Bulldog, Bruce Melody, Dream Boys, Sundari Hit, Jules Centauri, Rafiki, Knowless, Pacey, and TNP, or Passy, I'm sorry, and TNP. So all of those are crowd favorites. Alan had spoken to us about it before, that, you had to, there's some criteria that was in this year's competition that wasn't last year. So you had to have had a music video within the last year and, different kind of criteria. So these are all big people, but one of the acts that was supposed to be there and that isn't because they dropped out is Urban Boys. So Urban Boys apparently dropped out because during the competition, since they're busy with the competition the entire time, they get a salary, each act. And the salary, I think it's 1 million, I think they said it was, or 1.2, something like that. And basically, they did not think that it was fair that they would have to share the salary between three of them, seeing as there are three people in the group. So they decided not to take part this year. Now, what do you guys think about that? I mean, honestly, if whoever wins gets 24 million Rwandan francs. Now, I don't care
So
if
it
I'm
doesn't
sharing
matter
that
what the
with just
salary
me or 2 other people or whatever it is. But I can see where they're coming
Right,
from
right.
in that,
Yes.
you know, they're all working hard. They're all
Exactly.
individuals as well.
Maybe they looked at it and thought they had no chance this time around and were like, okay, maybe we're going to make enough money during,
Yeah.
like with our salary and not count on maybe winning. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible.
Plus,
Urban boys
they're-
are huge.
Exactly, and people love them. They stood a really good chance. And honestly, I feel like this year it's either between a girl taking it or a group. So I feel like they stood a really good chance. But you know, this is actually good news for Active, which is also another boys group.
You don't think Senderi is going to win it?
Honestly,
He doesn't have it. He doesn't stand a
I
chance.
think
do not
she's-
think
Even the
so.
cameramen in the studio, they're all like chuckling and everything. I'm like,
I think
I
she's
think
team
so.
girls. You know, yesterday
Team
was
girls,
Women's Day.
exactly.
And last year it was Jay Polly. The year before it was Riderman. I mean, I
Really,
think we
it's
can
about time.
we can take
It's
one.
about time.
We can take
Right,
one
right.
this time. We'll
It's
see how
about
it
time.
goes though.
It's
We'll
about
see how
time.
it goes. Anyways, don't forget that we love to hear your thoughts, your comment, and your feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. So tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We're always looking out for you. Like us on Facebook and send ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily. Find us on Instagram and follow us. It's Rise and Shine RW. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
well, that's all the time we have for today, but we'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, or feedback on what we're doing here. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadia. We'll be back here same time, same place tomorrow, so please do join us then. But for now, from the 2 of us and Fidelis, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.